One of the central questions any horror filmmaker has to ask themselves is, how do I scare people? You don't need tons of money or special effects, nice as those things can be. I think the fundamentals of fear are really quite simple and nicely illuminated by Ti West's 2009 film, The House of the Devil. If you've not seen the film, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the basic premise is this. In the 1980s, a college student takes a babysitting job in a big house out in the woods, and it ends badly. It's a simple setup that I'm sure sounds pretty familiar, but what makes this film great is how West builds a sense of dread from the beginning all the way up to the climax with very simple tools, and he borrows from the best. Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense, often gave an example of how to keep the audience tense with a scene involving a bomb. We could be blown up this minute and the audience would get 5 seconds of shock. But if we tell them 5 minutes ahead of time there is a bomb that is going to go off, then we get 5 minutes of suspense. The bomb in this case is our expectations of a horror film. Sam doesn't know that she's walking into the house of the devil, she just thinks this is a weird babysitting gig. So all these moments where she's obliviously wandering around the house, we're waiting for something to happen, and West is very coy about when this danger will arrive or what exact form it will take. Since most people haven't personally experienced being hunted by a serial killer or being possessed by a demon or being ensnared by a satanic cult, it's important to ground the horror in an experience the audience can empathize with. And the one fear that is universal is the fear of the unknown, which West weaponizes against us. Sam is isolated and in the dark, both figuratively and literally, replicating the feeling of being on your own at night, hearing strange noises and seeing malicious figures in the shadows, getting increasingly paranoid about what could be lurking behind you right now. West uses a lot of long takes where Sam stands framed by doorways that could conceal some unknown threat, or wanders into murky shadows that you've been trained to expect a hand to suddenly lunge out of, or just off the screen entirely, so we just have to sit and wait to see if she's still alive. The tight hallways and door frames direct our focus to Sam, emphasizing how small she is in this creaky old house, giving us a simultaneous sense of entrapment and claustrophobia, but also a keen sense of off-screen space, with all these shadows, doors and windows that keep teasing the idea of a threat, but not allowing us the relief of the sudden jump that comes with finally seeing what the danger is. One thing that makes this film unusual is its focus on the minutiae of everyday life that films usually gloss over. How often do you see someone going to the toilet in a movie? This has the dual effect of grounding us in a sense of reality, which is important to contrast with the outlandish horror that comes later, but more importantly, it's teaching us to pay attention to details, because it is all treated as important, which, when combined with the building suspense, heightens the sense that the impending threats could come from anywhere. West uses all of these simple ideas to keep ratcheting up the tension, always implying danger, but not allowing us the release of tension that comes with the usual jump scare reveal. He said, "I don't think you should have someone open a mirror and you know when they close it there's going to be something behind her. I don't want to be smarter than the movie. If you want to scare your audience, you don't need giant monsters or extreme violence if you use the audience's expectations against them." By constantly emphasizing small details, by exploiting the inherent scariness of what we can't see, and by elongating the 5 minutes of waiting for a bomb to go off into the whole second act of his movie, West takes our expectations of what will happen, but subverts them by not giving us answers. He keeps hinting at the danger, effectively making us scare ourselves with all the possibilities of what we fear might happen, but he never shows all his cards until the last possible moment.